I'm just giving you some of these side hustles and tips, some things you can do to be able to survive when you just lost your job. Do you know we have these phones? Some of us already have the laptops. You can have access to internet. There are myriad of things you can do to survive. Remember, you are doing this to survive and maybe also to thrive, because one day you'll be able to bounce back. For this period of time when you don't have an income, you must do that as you work hard to going back to where you used to be in terms of level. And do you know, like I said, big innovations were created during depression because people are looking for new ways of being able to make an income. Once they tried doing that, what happened? These new ways became a boom. You just discovered an opportunity that you never existed, and it became a huge company. People like Airbnb and stuff like that. They were created when things were very difficult in their countries. Another thing, and a tip I like to give, there are those of us who have been used to big positions, big names and titles and stuff like that. Now you have lost your job. What do you do? Do you think you'll still get another job as a CEO somewhere, as a head of department somewhere, as a senior manager somewhere, as a team leader somewhere? It would be almost next to impossible. If you are lucky, you'll get it. This is a depressed market. This COVID-19, the economy is not doing well. We have to all agree. The jobs are fewer. So what I'm trying to advise, you have to accept a job lower than where you used to be. That's where now you have to manage your self-expectation, your ego and stuff like that. If you are a manager now, you have to take quite a lower cadre job, almost an entry job. The best thing is that you have experience, you know what needs to be done, and you can rise again on the ranks. I've seen this mistake among people who work in the corporate sector, whether in business or otherwise. You have to start. If username was to go down, God forbid, we are working very hard, we know you have to start from the startup phase. Once again, egos aside, that is what is required even in employment. So you need to be very flexible about the opportunity that might present themselves. Whether small businesses out there, all these businesses you see. I've seen people say there are businesses that are done by people who are not learned. As long as it can put food on the table, you must remove that big image from your mind. One of the things that I found online, someone shared a very interesting quote here. Take any job until you get your dream job. Pride won't buy you bread. Let me repeat that. Take any job until you get your dream job. Pride won't buy you any bread. And the longer you take to understand that, the more difficult your recovery gets. The faster you remove pride, ego, and all those things that inhibit, especially in our society, the faster you are on your path to recovery. No one should look down on your hustle. No one should look down on the job you are doing, because they are also not paying your bills. So be very candid, be very focused, and you'll be able to make it. I would like to share one more tip that is very important. This one is extremely important. We are living in difficult times, and I really empathize with those who have lost even their relatives. People lost lives, they have lost their relatives. I have been involved in many WhatsApp groups where we are paying bills for people who have been admitted because of COVID. Learning is to millions of shillings. So quite a number of them. So there are people who have lost their relatives, close and loved ones. They have lost income, they have fundraised, they have sold even properties. I really empathize with you, and I'm hopeful this situation will not be there for forever. We have a vaccine in place, and I hope it will work. At some point, our economy will get back to where it is. Now, those who have lost their job and incomes or have been reduced, we are sorry for your predicament, And I didn't know these things will not last forever, and we'll get back to the upward trajectory that the country was on, the world was. So there are things you can do to be able to recover. I wanted to say this in regard to all these challenges that we are facing. There are those who will not be able, they have so many challenges. Imagine you have just lost your job, your parents are sick, or you yourself are sick. You have these big debts, hospital bills that you have to pay, meals, you have sold a property. Basically, you're all over. And at some point, stress can get over you. And to be honest, it can get over you. And it is okay sometimes. What we are saying, there are tips that you can be able to apply. But at some point, it can be so bad for you to a point where you develop into depression and have mental health issues. I would like to say at this point, you need to seek assistance as much as possible, even from day one. It's good to share this with a close friend, somebody who will not gossip about the same, somebody who is not happy that you lost your job, because some people are. There are people who are so fast to even announce your death. I don't know what kind of society we are living in. Those people who are close to you, those people who genuinely would take care of you, keep sharing from the onset. A few people, of course not all of them, people who can understand, to a point where if you get into real trouble, mental health, depression, you can be able to keep sharing with you. I'm saying that because especially in the world of where I come from, the men, we have such challenges of sharing the problems because of our image we have created in our society. Challenges of sharing what we have in our hearts. I've seen this firsthand in many places. You need to share with people what you are going through. They say problem shared is half solved. You share, they listen to you, they can be able to provide and work with you. So don't die with depression, don't die with mental health problems. Share with people. Look for a certified counselor, those people who can be able to listen to you, offer help, and move with them. If it gets to that, because it might, and it is okay, you need to be able to take action. So those are some of the things that I think you can do. And I need to recap very fast. Number one, don't wallow in self-pity. Don't stay at home scrolling TV channels one after the other, Netflix, YouTube, and all these kinds of things. You have to look at the world with open hands. Of course, you feel bad, and all of us would feel bad. Number two, you need to look at your budget very closely. Most of us don't budget. I also don't budget frequently. But this is the time to look keenly at every sharing. Where is it going? Separate needs and wants. Remove all the wants for the time being. You'll be able to buy that big TV, phone again, and many other things. Look at things you can cut. There are things you can do away with, like cars. If you have a big car, small car, where you live, you can move. You have to look at your ego and remove it. If you have loans, personal or commercial, with banks and friends, you have to negotiate again and be truthful and open about your situation and how long, and keep communicating, because the loan can take even years before you get back on your feet. Be flexible about the opportunities. I've shared side hustles. Go online in YouTube. You'll be able to get things you can do. If things get really thick, because they might, I would tell you it is okay when you have this, when these issues become so big for your mental health and depression. Look for help from the beginning. Certified counselor you can share with a friend from the beginning who can work with you, someone who can trust, and you'll be able to be okay. I would also like to mention, because this is the life we are living, that's why we keep telling people to invest. Because when you have a property, you can dispose it of when things get thick. Don't earn income every month in out. An income is like a river. Water keep flowing until it go to the ocean eventually, from Mount Kenya to the ocean. But if you don't create a dam to stop that water, a dam is like a saving or an investment. If the rain ends, we use dams to irrigate our farms, right? It's the same thing with your income. Month in, month out, inakuja ikitoka. What you need is to save and invest that money deliberately every month. If you have this kind of trouble, you actually behave like nothing happened. As you look for a new job, you already have savings. You liquidate one plot and an investment mechanism, and you'll be able to be okay. So saving for the future is very important. I would like to advise everyone. Number one, you need to save for the future and invest for the future. You can do either. Investment is better. But you can have a small saving called emergency saving. This is a small amount of money. They usually advise you to have emergency savings that can last you for 6 months only as you look for another job. You can save 10% of your income towards this effort, or even 5%. Every month, in 1 year, you have enough money to last you a few months. In 5 years, you have enough money to last you for. Create an emergency funding somewhere. But I would advise someone to focus more on investment. Be extremely aggressive on investment. The rich people of this world, the wealthy, they were not created by income. And income is a river, it will flow to the ocean. They were created by investment. What we have dams, they created dams all the way from Mount Kenya all the way to Mombasa. Those dams is what we call wealth, and you can do the same. So that when you lose your job or income, that thing will just not affect you. You can be able to stay for many months, even years. Actually, they describe wealth as that which you have. If you are to lose your job or not work any single day, you can last for your lifetime. There are people who would stop working today, and for the next 5 years, they still parent, take their kids to school, and do everything they were doing before without having to work. Those people have been serious investors for a long time. And the best thing is you can still do the same. I want to imagine and believe, and I want to put myself in those difficult shoes and imagine some of those tips can work for us. And because we are very bright and intelligent human beings, especially in a country like Kenya, you can research and find out what can work for you in a difficult situation. And it can only work if you first decide, I'm not going to wallow in self-pity because there are so many things on the table that I can look forward to and they would work for me. Pole to those who have lost jobs, relatives, money because of bills. But today I'm declaring you can be able to rise again. You can be able to stabilize yourself. You can be able to not just survive, even thrive, and maybe discover things that you never knew about yourself. Things you can do when you are cornered, when you are pushed to the wall. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and apply these tips on a daily basis. Click on that bell button. We will be able to give you more of this content as time goes by. Every time we upload something like this, you'll be notified. Have a nice day, and may God bless you.